Welcome to Partnerships for Profit, the podcast where we bring you inside the world of joint ventures, strategic partnerships, and powerful collaborations. Each episode, you'll dive into conversations with top entrepreneurs, visionaries, and business leaders, unlocking the secrets to building profitable relationships that drive growth and success. Whether you're looking to expand your network, find new referral partners, or scale your business, you're in the right place. Let's get started.
Welcome to Partnerships for Profit, presented by LeDuc Entertainment. Today, we are joined by Dave Thomas, who is the Senior Vice President of Business Development at Law Tigers and the owner of the greatest podcasting voice I've ever heard. Dave, welcome to the show.
Hey, Adrian, thanks so much for such a warm welcome. I'm excited to be here today, and love the platform too, man, and thanks for having me.
Can you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and telling us a little bit about Law Tigers? That's such a great name for a business.
Yeah, I can't take any credit for that, but I do love the name, and the logo, the iconic tiger logo is outstanding as well. Well, so my name is Dave Thomas. Obviously, you just made the introduction. I'm currently serving as Senior Vice President of Business Development and Growth here at Law Tigers. Been here going on 7 years, man, and what we do is we specialize in generating motorcycle cases to personal injury firms stretched across the country. Right now, we reside in, I believe, 32 states, 47 markets, and we have a team that consists of digital marketing, traditional marketing, advertisement, and grassroots. And through these kind of three methods, if you will, we're able to generate some really serious injury cases of high value to our participating members.
Wow. And operating across 32 states, can you speak with us a little bit about what are some of the benefits and challenges that come with operating across state lines, especially in the legal field, right?
100%. For most companies or firms, growth is great, right? But growth can also water down some of your true core values, and we're very mindful of not, actually going down that water hole. And then we're also kind of protected by a niche because all we specialize in, Adrian, is just motorcycle cases. So,
right.
So we're very authentic in everything that we do. From our commitment to the community, from the message that we portray to the motorcycle riders, the service that we provide. Right, we're riders ourselves, and so everything we do is really invoking meaningful connections with the community to protect and serve and to get them back on their bikes if they happen to experience the accident, right? And so, but also to provide them with the best attorneys that we have that's part of our network. So we're pretty proud about that. But national presence is definitely a great thing. But one thing you want to make sure you keep it pure and stay to your true core values, and we do a great job of that.
And you talked a little bit about reaching out to this community of motorcyclists, this community. And can you speak to us a little bit about how you reach out, how you foster that sense of community, and what is the importance of that community and making sure that you have a relationship there?
100%. So we kind of work backwards in this. So this company was started by Warren Levenbaum, our founder. His son Ari Levenbaum is the CEO, and they're partners and owners of the company, and they're both avid riders. So this was actually, really started on a passion of theirs, right? They're riding. Obviously, Warren was practicing attorney for many years, and he saw a gap in the legal field, right? To really help, folks that he shared a commonality with, right? He would ride, the Sedona trails and run into fellow riders, and they would wave and pull over and, what we call, shop talk around their bikes and parts and different trails and, different riding they would do together. And it quickly, came to his mind that he had something special, a built-in brotherhood or sisterhood, if you will.
Right.
And so that's how it started, man. It started by really protecting, serving, and watching out for our own. And then it kind of morphed into, okay, wow, it's just not grassroots. It's just not going to the rallies. It's just not, being out there fraternizing. But now we can really take it to the next level, create a platform, and be the resource to riders all across the country. And let me tell you, Adrian, man, riders come from all walks of life. They're folks like you, like us, right? Great podcast voices like us, right? I'm patting myself on the back. Then you have lawyers, doctors that, they just
right.
and so what our brand is able to do, we meet people exactly where they're at. It's that's when you look at even the logo, right? The tiger itself, it stands for protecting and serving and really being there, sticking a ham, if they do happen to lay down their bikes.
Are you a motorcyclist yourself, or?
Well, I played on dirt. I've jumped on all type of bikes. I am not an avid rider, but I do ride whenever I get an opportunity. I'm glad you asked that question because there's a kind of a false understanding that you have to be a rider to be a part of Law Tigers. Well, there's different areas of the business, and I'm obviously head of partnerships and development. Growing Law Tigers with our partners, and some of our partners are avid riders, and some of them, they're just really great attorneys.
Right.
I think the mix and us, collaborative efforts together, we definitely are the leading motorcycle attorneys in the country, and we're top of mind to most riders.
That's awesome. Now I was gonna ask you a little bit about what I wanted to dive in kind of to what got you into this business development path in the first place. How did you find yourself in this field?
Well, I'll try to answer that in short form. So I've been at this for a little while. I spent about 17 years in healthcare, talent acquisition, and business development. I worked for various startup companies and helped grow them to really outstanding companies where we're able to sell off, and so that's kind of been my thing over the years. And I will tell you, when Ari and his father Warren found me, they found me through an executive search firm, and they were looking for someone to help me grow and scale. And I believe when I came to Law Tigers, we had about 7 markets. We're in 47 now, and I think we're in a handful of states. So we've done some incredible growing over the years.
Yeah.
But yeah, they found me through a search firm, and I'll tell you this: I love marketing. I obviously have my MBA, from Arizona State University, WP Carey School of Business and Marketing. So I truly understand it. But it's more than just the books behind marketing. Marketing is really understanding your audience and being able to create a positive moment of truth through your content. Your content is not about you; it's all about them. And so when I understood that they had this niche, I said, "Man, it's speaking my language," because I would love to really do things that's impactful for one, but also purpose driven. We serve an underserved community, somehow misunderstood and fragmented group. And what I mean by that, Adrian, is that most folks think that there's in leather clothing and tattoos everywhere and chaps.
Right.
And, it's just that's their mindset of a rider. But like I mentioned earlier, riders come in all walks of life, and man, once again, it's just a great niche to operate in the legal space.
And I would love to touch on that from a business aspect, because like I said before before the show, you're one of the first people that I've spoken to in this space that really does have this niche of motorcycle riders. And I would love for you to talk with us a little bit about the kind of importance of niching down and really finding that space to operate in. What is the importance of that?
Man, it's extreme. If you're looking to grow and build a company or business or provide a service, you always have the upper hand if you become a specialist, right? Some come top of mind, like, I must be hungry. I probably have to eat. It's around lunchtime here. But like In-N-Out Burger, right? Chick-fil-A. These companies, these restaurants here, fast food restaurants, they have a niche, right? We know when you think of chicken, you're thinking of Chick-fil-A. When you're thinking of a good burger, it's In-N-Out, at least in my neck of the woods. And they don't really offer anything else. It's pretty simple and to the point. And so, there's a clear advantage of having a target audience, once again, that you can relate to, gain trust, because we know that people do business with people they like and trust. I think when you find a niche to operate in, you've already conquered those type of challenges, right? Those objections that most firms and companies they experience, because now they're targeting and marketing to a broader audience. So what their greatest challenge is being relatable and relational, and to find that trust. And so anytime you can niche down, or I call niche up, because it's definitely
right.
On the up. Whenever riches in the niches, I'm sure you heard that before. And then when you start really diving into the data behind it, it's even cheaper to more cost effective, I should say, to market to a targeted audience, because now you can be really direct in everything that you do.
Right.
For example, what we do, and as far as grassroots, our market managers, guys and gals, they head up those efforts for us across the country, and they're calling them parts stores, tow companies, dealerships. They're out there winning friends and influencing people, creating evangelists in the community, right? To regurgitate our brand. We know your brand is what other people are saying about you when you're no longer in the room. And so we do that effectively, but also just being a resource to riders. And then that's backed by our traditional efforts as well. You've probably seen our billboards, our TV spots, our commercials. We do a lot of bike giveaways. We do radio spots as well. And then we also, our third strategy is digital, right? SEO, PPC. Right. We do a lot of social strategy stuff. So, man, it's kind of what we call infinity marketing. It's like the flywheel approach, where we like to touch you on all frequencies, and it just works for us, man. And I think the most important thing to take away from it, it's meaningful work. We're not here to just make a quick buck or to capitalize on one's failure or being in an accident. In fact, most of what we do, Adrian, in the community is around rider education, awareness. We want to avoid those accidents. We want to keep people safe. But we know, man, when you jump on two wheels, man, it's not the question of if, but when. And when that accident happens, you're going to think of all Tigers. At least I hope you do.
When you are niching down and you are targeting with your marketing a very specific crowd, a very specific group, does that make marketing efforts easier or more difficult when you really have a honed in target like that?
Well, I think I would lean to say that it's definitely more easier. And the reason I say that is because you can be more intentional in everything that you do, right? It's also, once again, being on the other side of things, if you're in an accident in the personal injury space, a lot of attorneys, they do this mass, they'll say, hey, I'll take in, dog bites, I'll take in, automobile cases, motorcycle crashes, trucking. And so, so they kind of present themselves as the jack of all trades, but master of none. And once again, when you're going down on your bike, if you're a rider, you don't want that person who's a generalist that just takes everything in the door. You want a person that is attuned to your needs and understand exactly what you've been through and how to get you, the proper representation that you need. And so we have the upper hand in that way. So I would definitely say, man, much easier. But there's always challenges in anything that you're looking to grow. You have competition, but our competition is really not any other marketing firms or attorneys out there. It's really the insurances, right? Insurance companies. Because normally when people go down in an accident, the first thing, like, say if you got an accident, who would you think you'd want? I want to call my insurance agent. Right. Yeah. So what we'd like to do is educate folks that, definitely, man, if you've been injured, call your attorneys. We can get you lined up and set up with the proper processes and services that you need.
No, I don't mean to give away all your secrets here. I don't mean to give away all your secrets, but I'm wondering if maybe there is there a strategy, or is there something that our listeners, who are, a lot of them are business owners themselves, entrepreneurs themselves, is there a strategy that they can employ to maybe find their niche? Like how do you know what your niche is when you're first starting out as a business owner?
Well, my recommendation, everything has to come from, and I hate to get cliche here, but from the heart, man. Like, anything that you're passionate about, that you really believe in, that's going to naturally gravitate to something that, look, this is what I want to be a part of. And that's how Law Tiger started. So my advice would be, man, find out your passion, right? Whatever it is that you support, whether it's bicyclists, right? You can go after, if you're a personal injury attorney, think, I'm going to represent all bicyclists because they get hit too. If there's a certain demographic, or, even from, demographic as far as, backgrounds, right? Like Russian community, Hispanic community. It doesn't really matter. Just, find out, what you're passionate about. And then, at that point, then I think you need to, go ahead and set forth the strategy on how you can do that in an authentic manner. But the problem is, most folks, when they think about business, they think about niche. They're always the dollars is what's driving the thoughts and the strategy and looking the alignment and engagement. But you got to work backwards. You should be looking at things where, how could my efforts and my energy that I'm putting forth towards this niche improve the lives of others, affect my community in a positive way. And then I always say, if you play the game the right way, if it's just making that emotional connection and you're making a difference in others' lives, then everything else is going to follow. Your company is going to grow, your business is going to grow, your firm, and also the dollars will take care of itself. So everything has to really align to your passion and your purpose and your commitment to driving change and making a difference.
And now, and I don't know if you agree with this or not, but something that I have heard, and I've heard this phrase, uttered around, is the speed of growth is tied to the speed of implementation. Is that something you would agree with, or what's your take on that thought?
Well, we've done it. Obviously, you don't get this stuff right out the gate, right? You learn from your failures, right? And so we're not perfect. And I can remember a few years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, we were growing at light year speed. I mean, we were bringing in more firms than we could even, I hate to say, I can say it now because they're happy, but even really serve, right, in the best manner that we wanted to, provide that service. So my deal is this, it's sometimes you have to slow down and hurry up.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to slow down the hurry up, and what I mean by that is, have a clear strategy, have a goal in hand. And just, now we're in football season. I see you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan. And sometimes moving the chains is good enough, man. We don't have to sit back and start throwing bums to the end zone, man, because they're going to sit back in that prevent defense and make that adjustment. So let's just hit them underneath for the go routes. Right now, I'm talking football language, and then just start moving the chains. And then when we get in the red zone, then we can pull out our play that's going to take us to victory, right? And so that's the same mindset you should have when growing your business and anything when it comes to partnerships for profit, right? You should be thinking of just moving the chains, playing between the lines in the right way, and then executing. And that's it, man. And just make sure that your passion is aligned to what you're doing.
So I'm gonna stick with the football metaphor here.
Super Bowl, baby.
I was gonna say I'm gonna stick with the football metaphor here. I want to look a little bit into your playbook. Can you open up your playbook a little bit for us and share with us? I mean, you mentioned that Law Tigers really experienced kind of an expansive growth or an expand in their reach under your leadership. And I would love to know, look in your playbook, what strategies were you utilizing to make that happen?
Oh, man. All right.
So, I know I'm peeling back the secrets. I'm sorry. I don't mean to give them all away on the show. But.
No, man, this is what it's all about. Iron sharpen iron, and it's always a healthy environment to make each other better, man. Great question. So here's a book for all the listeners. If you haven't read it, please go out and get it. It's called The Referral Engine. And, as long as I've been in business development and partnership development, most people, their mindset is like, okay, who's my audience? Our audience is attorneys, right? Personal injury firms. So naturally you would think, okay, that's my most important, target. That's who I need to be speaking to daily. That's who I should be aiming to set meetings and bring into our exclusive membership partners, membership for Law Tigers. However, I take a different approach because it's folks like you who are influencers and connectors, those that have amazing relationships and networks, because your network is your net worth. And so when I'm going across the country and I do a lot of public speaking and presentations at legal conferences, I spend more time with vendors and other partners, colleagues, similar to Law Tigers, other marketers, than I spend with attorneys. And they will say, Dave, why do you spend so much time with other folks out here trying to get the same business that you're after? Because I know that I can go further together than alone by myself. So if I can create what I call those influencers and connectors, and we can kind of cross, pollinate our databases, and if we're not conflicting and there's no competition, then now I've created, a team of folks that's going to go out there and look for potential partnerships for me, because they know that we've already established trust and credibility with one another. So my thing is, man, it's all about the referrals. It's all about networking and building your circle of influence, right? And so that's how we're able to grow in a meaningful manner. It's not about how many ads you can throw up there and paste up there and and if you can outdo your competition and say these cool little slogans, it's really the purpose in what you're doing and really making those connections that's going to bring you the quality and value of a client that your business deserves. And you're going to grow in a meaningful manner as well.
Yeah.
Now, I'm giving away the good stuff, man.
See, I was gonna say, you casually just dropped one of the greatest lines I've ever heard, that your network is your net worth. I mean,
100%.
can you dive a little bit more into that? Because I mean, what a line.
Hey, man.
I mean, but that is such, I'd heard riches in the niches, but I had never heard your network is your net worth. And there's such truth to that. And that's kind of what this whole show is about that we're doing here, So if you could dive into that, I would love to talk more about that.
100%, man. And it's like, both in your personal life and your professional life, I think it's applicable, right? And, you've probably heard this before. Show me your friends, show me your future, right?
No, I've never heard that either. You're just casually dropping these fantastic lines on me.
And that's just the truth, man. So I'm very mindful in both areas of my life, professionally and personally, right? Personally, I like to surround myself around like-minded individuals, but also those that's going to push me to be better, right? And it's going to challenge me. Not going to be acceptance of saying, "Hey, Dave, man, you're pretty great at this stuff," and just tell me what I need to hear. No, I need someone that's going to challenge me, correct me, but also, allow me to grow through their knowledge. And so I take the same approach when it comes to growing the business. I spend so much time in different associations where I'm able to create these networking opportunities. So when you look at Law Tigers, our growth is really, really, I would say, if I had to put a percentage on through our networks and through referral, I would say over 50% of our business come by way of referrals.
Wow.
And as you know, even if you're looking to hire, I'm jumping around here, your best employees are those that were recommended by other employees or other colleagues in your industry. Now, we can find some through Indeed that's going to apply to your job. But one thing is we're just getting to know each other. But, those references and referrals come with high recommendations because they know you. They know exactly what you need. And they know your values and your true core values. And we're able to make that alignment. When I look at anything successful, growing, partnership development, growing, scaling, everything has to be, there's two things that have to take place. And that's alignment, proper alignment, and engagement, right? And so I look at that the same way when you're looking to grow your business and your company.
Can you share with us, maybe, you in your years of experience, you've worked with all these people. Can you share with us, maybe, is there, when you think back on it, is there a story that stands out that is somebody or a client, a business that maybe you helped, that you really saw a change, a transformational change in as a result of your help?
That's a great question. Yeah, I can just.
A bit of a loaded one. I'm sorry.
No, I like it. Great question, man. It's there's different opportunities that I can speak on, but there's a firm in Alabama, Shelby and Roden. They're a really, really great outfit. They were kind of a mass torts firm doing. I believe they were doing. It was especially within mass tort, but then they wanted to kind of expand into the personal injury space. So they came by way of referral actually to us, and they didn't have a whole bunch of experience in the personal injury space, but they knew that they wanted to capitalize on serious injuries. Obviously, most personal injury attorneys, they want the catastrophic and nature cases, and obviously, unfortunately, we present a bunch of those because when you're in a motorcycle accident, it's a pretty serious thing.
Right.
So Shelby and Roden, they really took a leap of faith and really trusting us, expanding their mass tort practice into the personal injury space by focusing primarily on motorcycle cases. And Alabama is a 1% contributory market. What that means is it's very difficult to practice personal injury there.
Right.
It would be identified of like, are you serious? Are you crazy? I don't think this is going to work there. Well, year one, we were able to really prove a lot of people wrong. And that's true that, the power of a niche is just outstanding, right? So we're able to gain traction. We had less competition. Those that were dominating the market in that area, like, so since we have this little niche, Adrian, it's really hard for the big, powerful bears to put their paws in there and gain from what we're doing. So, it's kind of indefensible a little bit. And so Shelby and Roden, they definitely took full advantage of that. And just to share with you the success story, we came out the gate swinging. We had phenomenal years. We exceeded our intake, new case intake by 20% year one, 25% year two, and it just kept scaling. So now they're on to their third market. Now they're owners of Alabama, the Panhandle in Florida, and also the state of Mississippi.
Wow.
And that's just a success story. But, so there's a couple of things that happened great there. Obviously, incredible niche within the motorcycle practice, but also, our team. I have to give a big shout out to our team, man. We really pride ourselves in doing right by our partners and really, working our tails off to make sure, that there's a mutual success.
And I guess this is kind of you mentioned the team, right? And I would love to touch a little bit on that. The concept of, we talked a little bit about the importance of fostering a sense of community with the people that you are serving, but how do you foster that sense of community, and what is the importance of fostering that sense of community within your own business, within your own team, within your own company culture?
Well, man, that's a great question. Many people don't think that way, Adrian, because they're so fast in a hurry just to get going. It's very difficult, extremely difficult to, let me just backtrack. Sure. So let's look at adverse companies that struggle in customer service. They struggle in growth. They're stagnant. They look at all these shortcomings that they may be experiencing, and they're doing everything externally to try to fix the problem. But more, and I know, if you're having those type of outcomes externally or challenges, the problem isn't externally, it's internally. So I always say that if you're looking to be successful as a company, if you're looking to grow in a meaningful manner, you have to make sure that home is taken care of first. You have to make sure it's a great book, Good to Great. It's a very old book, but it's Jim Collins. I love this book because he talks about having the right people on the right seats on the bus, right? So hiring right is critical. Hiring for culture, training for talent, right, and skill. A lot of folks, they like to have these job descriptions and say, hey, you have to fit this job description to be a part of our team. I scramble up that job description, and I'm pretty good at a close jumper, and I throw that thing into the trash, because what's most important is hiring people for culture that is aligned to your, once again, core values and your commitment. Obviously you want to hire some folks with some soft skills that's going to be alignment for the job, but don't get caught up in the details of just really checking boxes, because it's not about checking boxes. It's about, I call them athletes in the workplace. Hiring athletes in the workplace doesn't mean you have to be an ex-athlete, but, just athlete qualities, being that you're a change agent, that you're multifaceted, you're self-starter, you're a team player. So those are the type of the folks that I look to bring on at Law Tigers. We all do. And we look to also not just stop there. You have to also foster an environment of professional development and pour into your team, set them up for success. And I say, hiring is the most critical piece of the pie when you're looking to grow anything, right? You got to have the right people. At the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, it's all about people, and that's the same thing on, the business front, right? Whether you're providing a service, if you keep people first, then they'll keep you first. So everything, starts with people and it ends with people.
Well, Dave, this has been an absolutely awesome conversation. Thank you so much for sitting down and talking with us today. If any of our listeners out there could use your help, could use the help of Law Tigers, where can the people find you?
Hey, man. Thanks for asking. You can reach out directly to me. Yes, I'm brave enough to give you my email address. It's dave@lawtigers.com, DAVE@lawtigers.com. You also jump on our website, lawtigersmarketing.com. I'm going to do a shameful plug of our podcast, asphaltapplications.com. You can check that out. We just, kind of getting started here. We have a few episodes on deck. And also, man, we have an incredible summit that we do annually with national trial lawyers. And it's going to take place next month, about 30 days away, March 5th through the 7th at Conrad Hotel in Orlando. It's going to be in partnership with national trial lawyers, some of the best speakers around the country, best litigators. We're going to bring in specialists to really help you understand how to bring in motorcycle cases, how to handle these cases, and how to get greater verdicts and settlements. So a great place to be. So definitely you want to go to the motorcycleaccidentsummit.com to get signed up if you haven't done that already. And if you want to find out a little bit more about that, reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. Adrian, man, you've just been just wonderful to sit here and speak with. You got great questions, man, and thanks for having me on your platform.
I appreciate it. Dave, thank you so much. I was going to say, I really appreciate you opening up the playbook and sharing the good stuff with us today.
That's what it's all about, man, and good luck to your team. I don't know how much luck you need with Mahomes at the head of the wheel, man, but got a lot of people in place. I'm a big fan of watching greatness. So I don't have any skin in the game. My team is at home doing the same thing that I'm doing. I'm a big diehard 49er fan. You guys already broke our hearts many times. So right now I'm just going to sit here and watch greatness right there on display.
Absolutely. I'll have to check back in with you to see how it turns out.
I'm not betting against Kansas City, I can tell you that.
Well, Dave, thank you so much again for joining us. And thank you, everyone, for listening. This has been Partnerships for Profit presented by LeDuc Entertainment. Dave, thanks again.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Partnerships for Profit. We hope you've gained valuable insights on how to form profitable partnerships and take your business to the next level. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss an episode. Got a partnership story to share or someone you'd like to see featured on the show? Reach out to us. Until next time, keep building those partnerships for profit.